It was on Netflix when I watched it.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
About Second Life? About people that got too immersed into it?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I need to see that.
Yeah.
It was like 3 different people, and they like did a sort of perspective of like what they were going through. It was like some couple that got together over Second Life. There was some like really strange guy that was hanging out like role playing like a small child on Second Life. Like,
no wonder nobody accepted my friend request then. Now
You
this
didn't
makes
want
sense.
them to
It might have
accept your
been for
friend
the
request.
best.
It probably is
That's all I
good.
got out of it. Yeah.
That was an avenue of your life that was closed off.
Thank God. All right. Well, hello. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This is Dreads with Benefits, our weekly podcast where we gather a roundtable of experts to talk about the tech topics of the day. We are broadcasting live on YouTube right now, so we want to hear your comments as we go through this. If you have ideas or something you want to hear us talk about or questions, go ahead and pop those in there, and we'll make sure we get to them throughout. We're going to be talking about a bunch about Google here at the top. We're going to be talking about some new VR chat, as we just were, some news from the Oculus announcement, the new Nike shoes, several different things we'll get to as we go through this. I'm your host, Greg Nibbler, and let's get our roundtable here introduced. To my right,
Matt Smith.
it is Matt Smith with your PBS shirt. That PBS shirt's awesome.
Yeah.
And I know
Everyone
audio
says
listeners
that.
can't see this, but
It's kind of annoying. I just walk down the street. Everyone's
Did you
it-
actually make a donation to get that shirt?
like, no. I got it. I got it at Goodwill, actually.
So you made a donation to Goodwill.
yeah,
Yes.
Your money still went to something.
yeah. See, it kind of works.
Trying to save you here.
Yeah, and to Matt's right.
This is Nick Moke.
Hello, Nick. And on the end, and you just said it's been, what, over a year since
Yeah.
you've been on the
I haven't
show?
been on, I'm Brendan Hesse. I haven't been on since not this previous E3, but the E3 before that.
Oh, God. Okay. We'll make
So,
sure that gets
so
fixed.
Brendan was just promoted to the AV team. He is now
Congratulations. Oh.
in the company of Dubs and Caleb.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah.
So-
All right.
So he can tell us all about the Chromecast stuff.
Yeah,
Good.
I
Yeah,
can.
because somebody's going to need to, because I need some explanation on that stuff. But yeah, let's get to that. So let's talk about Google here at the top. And as I said, if you're just joining, we're going to have a bunch of different things we're getting to, but we do want to hear your questions and comments. Go ahead and put those in there. But let's go through what Google is doing. So their big event on Tuesday. Essentially, it seems like Google wants to be like your life assistant, your life partner, to tell you everything to do and be with you everywhere you go. And that's kind of what he said, actually, that they're developing it to have so that everybody has their own personal Google all over the place in every device and everything. And they are being, typical Google, really aggressive about it and going after pretty much every competitor, everyone who's kind of forayed into all these different fields that they're going into. Like, okay, you're doing that. Well, we're going to do it better and put it everywhere and also do it cheaper. And starting off with Google Home, we'll kind of go through these. Google Home, going directly at Alexa, which Amazon, that's like Amazon's baby. Like, they seem so key on Alexa, and Google Home has now come in, and we've got a picture of what it looks like on there. It looks a lot like the Echo, real similar. It's a speaker that that you can put in the center of your room instead of responding to Alexa. It responds to OK Google. Which I guess they were having a bunch of issues at the event. People that were watching it, their phones were responding to OK Google. And one of the things they said about this is that it is so powerful that it can, they said if you're in a big room with a bunch of people talking and music playing, you can whisper OK Google from across that room and it will still be able to pick it up and read through all that, because that's how powerful the microphones are. And we've already got
Creepy.
Yeah, super creepy that it can hear that much. I mean, people are concerned about security.
That's just what everyone wants, is a Google box in your house that can hear you whisper.
Yes. Yeah.
That shouldn't concern anyone.
To everything that you're saying. I'm curious, what are you guys' thoughts on this, on Google Home? Like, what do you think about this? Brandon, do you have a...
Well, so out of all of the devices that they showed off, this was the one that I was the most like, oh, that's really cool. I probably won't immediately get that, but like, I don't have I haven't really had much hands-on time with the Alexa stuff either, so I don't really maybe know what I'm missing either.
Yeah.
That could be the case.
Man, I think that, Google is throwing down the gauntlet with Amazon.
Yeah.
Because Alexa owned the space, and now Google is jumping in a big way. And with partnerships, I think potentially Google could very easily both catch up and then surpass Amazon.
Yeah.
Because, Alexa does not do enough work with other things right now.
Yeah.
My parents bought an Echo 2 years ago, whenever it was first announced. And it's still very novel. Like it's like a party trick when the neighbors come over to be like, "Hey Alexa," but it doesn't do anything. It talks to you, but it doesn't. They can't turn lights on and off with it yet. They can't. It doesn't really interact meaningfully with the rest of the house. And Google is coming out and saying, "Look, we're going to have the same, good voice recognition, but you're going to be able to do a lot more with it." They've partnered with Samsung SmartThings. Obviously, Nest is part of Google, so it's going to work with all your Nest stuff. It's going to work with if this then that.
Yeah.
It's going to work with. I think there's one more partnership.
Philips
Hue. Yeah.
Or Philips.
So it's going to right out of the box work with a bunch of different gadgets that you might have in your house. Especially, Nest thermostat. A lot of people already have those. It's probably one of the more common of the devices they've partnered with. So I think that Amazon's got to start making Alexa work with more stuff to catch up here.
Yeah.
And it's going to be cheaper too. It's coming in at a lower price point. And
I would put my money on Google in this matchup, right?
If
Why?
we were taking bets.
Amazon did it first, but we say how well their phones and tablets really went over. You maybe buy them because they're cheap, but other than that, that said, I think that it is seriously kind of really a creepy, weird thing. Of all the companies that come out and do it, Google is probably the creepiest and weirdest. I don't know.
There are several comments already referring to Google as Skynet.
I don't know if any of you have recently gone to the handy feature that Google has, which allows you to see all the activity they've tracked of you recently. But I did so recently and found that they had tracked, on average, 500 to 600 activities a day between web browsing, Chrome. You sign in the Chrome. All your web history. You have an Android phone. Everything you're opening, all the apps you're opening, everything you're doing on that phone, your location through your phone, and you it actually logs you had a voice call, things like that. And now Google will be able to log, when you whispered sweet nothings into the ear of your significant other or something like that. Okay, this is getting pretty personal, and it's nice that it's all there and transparent, but wow. Well, it's better than because we don't know what Amazon does with that data.
That's true.
If Alexa gets that sort of stuff, we don't know. I'm not aware that they have any sort of transparent activity tracker. So it's nice they at least show you how they're being creepy.
Google's gonna start giving relationship advice based on.
They are.
It's just gonna be like, Matt, you need to be more attentive.
You're gonna have a fight, and then you open your web browser the next morning. It's gonna be like flowers, chocolates. Thanks, Google.
You are not that far off. I can totally see that happening.
That is not that far in the future, I don't think.
Hi, Matt. I noticed you were upset last night.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Yeah. Well, Google Home. That is coming out. So it's going to be pretty soon. Ships on November 4th. And the cost is $129. So they're going under everything that Amazon is doing. It's pretty amazing that they're coming in this quick with it. And that's not the only thing. They're not just taking on Amazon, and they seem to be taking shots at everybody. With the Google Pixel, especially going after Apple, was one of their other big announcements. The Google Pixel and the Pixel XL, even though I think it's HTC that's still making it, but they're claiming, they're marketing it as their phone. And a lot of it does seem to go straight after that. The highest rated smartphone camera ever. Yeah, they went after. It seems like they just waited for Apple to do this and okay, yeah, you didn't like that? Well, here, let me just show you what we've got. We're Google. We'll be everywhere. And especially for a lot of people now unhappy with Samsung and what's going on there, or maybe a little hesitant on the Samsungs. There was a bunch of more stuff in the news today about that too. I'm waiting for that to shake out. Apparently they had to evacuate a plane because another
Southwest flight.
Mm-hmm. Southwest flight. So it's a perfect time for Google to come in and swoop in here and take up a big chunk of that market. What do you guys think about the Google Pixel? Do you think you would purchase it? I know you two are both Apple people.
I'm an Android person. Actually,
Android, okay.
Interesting. I was thinking about this. I'm already so invested in the Google ecosystem because I have a Gmail account that's connected to my phone, that's connected to I listen to music that way because that's the easiest way to listen to music on my Android phone. I actually have a Samsung, and my charger burned out. I don't have a Note 5, so my phone didn't explode, but I have a burned out charger.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't charging, and I wasn't sure why. And I looked at it, and lo and behold, was like charred and discolored.
That'll do it.
So I'm thinking, okay,
Something you
maybe
wanna see.
maybe it's probably time to start looking for something else. And then Pixel gets announced, and it looks kind of interesting to me. I really like, the camera specs are really impressive, but I at the same time, it's like upgrading to a Google-centric phone like that. Like there is some hesitation, just like I'm also invested in like the phone that I have now. I kind of like the Galaxy experience, so we'll see. I'm sure people will tell me I'm wrong because it's not raw Android, but whatever.
Right, but still, I mean, that's what you're used to, so that you'll stick with that. I mean, it's the same thing with me. Like for the Android ecosystem, I've always been Android, so I'll probably stick with it. And as much as I'm sitting here realizing Google is tracking every single thing that I'm doing and running my life, I do kind of want the phone.
Right.
I mean, the LG V20, that one looks pretty great too. But there's a bunch of the phones that are coming out that, with this, if you're in Android, I just think it's just such an easy thing to switch over to the Google Pixel. Whereas for you guys being Apple people, I imagine that'd be a much bigger jump.
Not really on my radar. I think Daydream is pretty interesting though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're gonna get into Daydream.
Jump at the gun. Sorry.
No. That's all right. We can. Well, let's talk really quick about Chromecast. So Google taking on Apple with that, and we've got a bunch of comments coming through here about this. Pre-ordered my Pixel on day one. Everything I use is Google and Windows. Some other people saying the Google Pixel is overpriced trash. I
do
varying
think
opinions.
it's more expensive.
Yeah.
I think the price
Yeah.
is going to be a problem.
It was shocking, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the whole Nexus line was always a good budget play, like such a good
Right.
value, and then they ditched that and
Jumping straight for the high end.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably the big. I mean, for me, the big consideration is always price with stuff like this. So it's like, if my phone's okay, my charger's burned out, but I just get a new charger. So that
no big deal.
Takes care of that.
I drop my phones too often anyway. I probably wouldn't get the Pixel. I wouldn't last very long. All right, well, let's jump through here to a couple other things. The Google Chromecast.
Yeah.
So, Brennan, I know you are expert on that.
So the Chromecast Ultra is this new. It's a 4K Chromecast. It's capable of HDR, both HDR10 and Dolby Vision, which not a lot of 4K streaming devices support Dolby Vision at the moment. A lot of them, when they say they're HDR, they support HDR, they mean HDR10. What that means is it can support a wider range of 4K HDR content. Most things, as from my understanding, is HDR10 at this point, but the extra Dolby Vision is a huge benefit.
Nice.
It's also really cheap compared to almost every other like high-end 4K streaming device, like the newer Apple, or the Amazon Fire TV, or the high-end like Roku Ultra. Those cost $100+, $130 for the Ultra. Where this is just I forget off the top of my head, it's like $69, right?
Yeah, I think it's 69.
So you're getting in for a lot cheaper, and if you're used to having a Chromecast and you like, the simplicity of that, like this is a huge upgrade in terms of how much, 4K content you're able to watch on this thing. So I mean, for me, I think it's a pretty cool, device. There are slightly cheaper options out there, like if you don't have a 4K TV, that do just as much as this, if not more. But if you're a Chromecast person, like definitely look into that.
And cheaper, like you said, than everything else.
Right. I mean, well, then a lot of stuff.
Than those other ones.
But still, it's kind of it. Google's making a statement of like, hey, we can do 4K and we can do it cheaper than a lot of other people. So that's pretty impressive.
So, and when does that come out? When does the new?
It comes out in November. They haven't released a specific date, but it's in November, and that would be 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now. So it's just around the corner.
Right there. Yeah. And there's a big comparison piece that just came out too on digitaltrends.com that you can take a look at all the different streaming devices you can look to. I mean, that's another one too. If somebody even just wanting to get into streaming, that's another way. I mean, Chromecast right there, cheaper already. Everybody knows Google. Jump right into it. I mean, it's a smart move on their part. But let's get to the Daydream, which you were just talking about, the Daydream VR, which I think this is going to be a game changer for them. Because, with virtual reality is still slowly seeping into everybody, like as far as the general populace. A lot of people still haven't tried it yet. It's too expensive, or they just haven't had a chance to get into it. And this is a great way to get into everybody's head for that market, just marketing-wise alone, let alone the product itself looks pretty cool. And it's their virtual reality setup, there's a few things with it that are pretty cool. I mean, Pixel's obviously set up for it already, but they also are going to have it so you're not limited to just that phone in using their system. And Nick, you said you were a big fan of it.
Yeah, there'll be different Daydream compatible phones. I believe there's an Axon right now that's already the pool is pretty small right now, but I'm sure there'll be more as they come. But yeah, I thought I think it's $80, so it's fairly affordable. And then it is similar in many ways to the Galaxy Gear, but the big thing that Google has done that I think sets this apart is the controller. It comes with a motion controller that's kind of something like you would have like a Wiimote kind of.
Yeah.
Our guy that was at this event, Julian, was saying that it's really responsive, it's comfortable, it's a very intuitive way to interact in VR. He also just said it's super comfortable. I mean, we were joking about how it kind of looks like yoga pants for your head.
That's a good comparison.
And apparently, he was saying it's the most comfortable VR headset he's ever worn, and he's tried the Vive, and he's tried everything out there.
Yeah.
And just by virtue of being lightweight, and also, I mean, they padded this thing a lot. The whole thing is kind of made out of fabric. It looks like they did a lot of. They really went out of their way to design this thing to be super comfortable. Like he was saying in his hands-on with this thing, it's like one of the few VR headsets that he feels like he could stay in for a while. Like you don't have to tear this thing off and go for a breather.
That's great. Yeah, because I mean, I have the older Gear VR, and it is really uncomfortable. I mean, it's constantly falling down no matter how much you strap it on. And yeah, he said in his article too, partnered with an unnamed clothing brand to achieve the comfort level to make it something like that. And the remote is great too. In the chat, Jesse just said all Pixel pre-orders come with a free Daydream View headset. So that's pretty cool. But this, I mean, being able to get in at this level right now when VR is just starting to take off, it's just before Christmas. You get in with this, you get a free one if you order their phone. Still, the price is pretty low. It's a really, really smart move. And if they can back it up with performance on that, I mean, they could be primed to really take over the market in a quick way, I think, anyway. Matt, what do you think about that?
I think they're in a good position, potentially. The thing about, Oculus with the Gear is that it's very much basically a Samsung thing.
Yeah.
Which really limits your potential, audience, And the problem with any sort of platform like this is you got to have a big audience so that you can attract developers and they can make money. Otherwise, people just don't want to build things. Because there's not enough people to buy it. With Daydream, it's going to be something that can be, across all the different Google phones and non-Google phones, all different Android phones, as long as they meet the specifications. So that opens up a lot more possibility. And I also think it'll be a little bit more intuitive because, the fact that you have to get a Samsung phone and then get an Oculus Store thing on the phone, and you have this split between the different app stores. I don't know. I mean, that's not super. No. It's never fun to be adding more app stores to your phone to make something work. So, yeah, I think Daydream has some potential advantages there.
Cool. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I think with it too. It's definitely going to be a good in for Google. I'm excited to try it. I mean, and for that price, so many more people are going to want to jump into that and give it a shot. But you did bring up Oculus, and they're having their event right now too, the Oculus keynote. And I know you have we have people down there right now. I know you've been kind of spearheading this. So what can you tell us about what Oculus is doing, jumping into that?
Well, Oculus, the big thing is Oculus Touch. So we've always harped on the Rift not having the controller situation really figured out. You get an Xbox gamepad right now. And that's not really the best thing for VR. It's not as intuitive or as immersive as it could be. They now have their touch controller announced on a December 6th release date at $200.
For two controllers or one controller?
Two controllers.
Okay.
Yeah, and another sensor stand they use with it.
Okay.
So you got a sensor and two controllers coming in that $200 price. And they basically allow you to use your hands in VR experiences, just as with the Vive. Although they work a little bit differently, they're configured a little bit differently. They have a joystick instead of a touchpad on them. And they have some sensors that, based on how you're holding them, can detect like if you're doing a thumbs up or if you have like these fingers, based on how your hands are
So you can
on
actually
those loops.
pick out the fingers and control
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
They have the ability to sense how your hand is oriented. So there's also a haptic feedback system in them that is they're really hyping up and saying that you can tell the difference between like when you shoot a gun to when you like throw a basketball or something in VR. So yeah, that's a big thing for them. And I think it's a little more pricey than people probably hoped. It always is with VR right now. So $200 is kind of going to be a rough ask, but they do seem like they're pretty cool. I've used them before when they were an earlier prototype last year, and I thought they were pretty good touch controllers, at least on par with what the Vive has. So we'll just have to see what experiences come out for it when it launches on December 6th.
There's somebody in the chat who's speculating that Oculus is quietly waiting to announce a partnership with the Xbox or with the Scorpio coming out as a bundle. I don't know.
People have been speculating that for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly why, other than the fact that they bundled for the controller. I mean,
Okay.
could do. I don't know.
Matt says no. So let me just tell you that.
You just shut that down.
Well, so that's all going on. They still have another day of stuff, right, for Oculus?
Yeah, but the
So-
keynote's going to be all the big stuff. The rest of
Okay.
it, this is a developer conference, so the keynote is where they tell us all the things that we can understand, and then they go talk about their APIs,
And
and
then the engineers talk.
yeah. So
So the controllers are gonna kind of get the Oculus, the Rift up to speed with the Vive in terms of like actually having better controls. But did anything come out regarding like room scale VR? I mean, like
yes,
Okay.
they are going to have room scale. You have, and this is one of there's all these catches that with the touch and with room scale. So the catch with room scale is you have to buy a third sensor,
Okay, yeah.
and that's another $80.
There we go. It's $80 extra just to get that.
Third sensor.
So
Okay.
what's the price comparison at that point with the two controllers, the extra sensor compared to the Vive, which has
Well, it would be
everything?
$80 more, so it would be $880 for the Rift
For the full package.
with the
package.
room scale package and $800 for the Vive.
Okay. So I guess, I mean, it's not a huge difference at that price point, but it's
No,
still,
it's not. It's not. But the concern with touch, as cool as it is going to be whether or not it's going to have the Kinect problem.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
is that when you have some sort of device that greatly expands the capability of your device, your console, well, your VR headset in this case, and not everyone has access to it, then you're splitting up your customers, right?
Right.
Like a developer is going to be taking a lot of risk just making a touch game. They may be taking a ton of risk if they made a room scale Oculus Rift game.
Right, yeah.
Because how many people are actually
Yeah.
going to buy that third thing, that third sensor, and use it with the Rift? I mean,
Is there a lot of
no one really knows.
cross compatibility with Rift and VR or Vive yet? Like, can you?
There's starting to be.
They're starting to be. Okay.
Yeah, I think cross compatibility is not that big of an issue.
Okay.
And we're actually seeing some games like go back and forth. Like one that I've got my eye on is Fantastic Contraption, my favorite VR game right now. That's coming to Rift. And in fact, they said a few months ago, those developers did. They were like, "Yeah, it's not really that big a deal.
Oh,
like
okay.
to port it. It's not like porting between Nintendo 64 and a Sega was back in the
Right.
day.
Right.
It's pretty.
Is it more that there's just a limited market of people, so even design
Yeah.
a game, it's like,
I mean,
how many are you going to be able to sell?
that is the issue. You're developing a Rift experience. Everyone's got the Rift with a gamepad.
Mm-hmm.
You know that. You don't know if everyone's got the touch. How many people have the touch? How many people are going to have the touch? I don't know.
Yeah.
How many people are going to have that room scale experience? I don't know. So that makes it kind of sketchy territory. We'll just have to see how it gets supported. The thing that's compensating for that is that it's Facebook owned, and they're clearly throwing a lot of money at it.
Mm-hmm.
They keep putting out these programs and making these announcements. Like one they announced today was like, if you have an Unreal Engine game, Facebook will cover your licensing fees for the first $5 million in revenue.
Wow.
So you don't have to pay any of those licensing fees if you do a Rift game based on the Unreal Engine.
They're
So
really trying to
there's
bait
this.
developers
That's their
and stuff
solution.
like
That's their
that.
solution. They get developers to do all these different things, even if there's not a customer base right off the bat. They're just throwing money at it. Hey, and that can work.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, it's
So-
exciting because I've used the Oculus and the Vive, and I've used the Samsung Gear, but I haven't played anything that's like, oh wow, this is essential. Like, it's cool,
Yeah.
it's awesome to play it, but you haven't played anything that's essential. So getting more people involved in those incentives might finally make that happen.
Well, and the other thing that Zuckerberg, he even posted a picture of this today, that seems to be trying to do with virtual reality, especially Facebook, is to bring social media into it, which that is still to me just a strange thing to do. He posted a picture of himself taking a selfie in virtual reality with a real picture of, I don't know who that is that he's with there, but I don't quite understand where he's
weird.
going with that, but yeah, he's trying to bring this whole aspect in. And Oculus and HTC just made a partnership with this VR Chat. It's VRCHAT, all one word, group, and they just had a $1.2 million initial round of funding to support creating this virtual reality social media world, essentially like a Second Life, like we were talking about at the beginning of the show. So they're trying to bring this back and make it a thing, although I guess Second Life is still a thing, so perhaps you can port these people over to that.
Well, I believe these are actually separate things that happened today.
So it's two different things with the VR
what
Chat
happened-
and Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
thing
we
is
had
two?
we
Okay.
had this VR chat thing show up this morning, and this was they got $1.2 million in funding from HTC and some other companies, and it's they've got frameworks similar to Second Life. Is the
Cross-platform
idea, and
VR
then
application.
that happened, and then Oculus came out, and Mark Zuckerberg came out, and he did this entire VR chat thing that they're doing.
So it's so even though Oculus is involved in both, it's two separate different things.
I don't know if Oculus is involved in this VR chat thing.
Or well, it's a cross-platform.
I think it'll
application.
run
Okay,
on Rift, but I don't
gotcha.
think they're like
This is why we have the experts on here.
don't
Clarify
think
this.
they're
So,
a backer.
Okay, gotcha. So VR Chat is a separate
Yeah.
cross-platform application that will work on Oculus and HTC. And then Zuckerberg also has their
Yeah.
Facebook VR Chat system.
And I imagine they're a
So-
little bit different, like target markets. You know, like this VR chat thing that.
Which the name
Is
alone is
independent.
confusing but that's the actual name of the company.
Yeah,
The application
this is
VR
probably gonna
Chat.
be a little bit more wild and crazy. Like, you know, you can do all kinds of sort of avatars and stuff. The Facebook thing, that was, I mean, it was basically like we were joking in chat. It was like Facebook bought Oculus, and one of the first things they do is they make a messenger app.
Yeah.
Of course, but just like the look of it, the look of how everything is in the interface, it's basically Messenger for VR, but with all of the extensions that has, which some of it's pretty cool. They were showing like you can pop up a video in the VR space, so you're like hanging out with people. You're like, hey, want to share this video? You snap your fingers, the video's there.
But can I see the video anyway as it is? I mean,
Well,
Not in VR.
not in
not,
virtual
not in your, you know, in like a big screen in front of your face. They were drawing things, and then you could draw something and then grab onto it and throw it across the room. And
Okay.
you could do, you could answer calls in VR, which is what that silly picture we saw earlier was. So I don't know, like it's kind of cool.
okay. So
It's not-
Facebook's VR messaging function. We'll just call it that to separate the two.
Yeah. It is actually a little confusing though, because besides this whole VR chat thing, that's independent of Oculus, they also Oculus at the same keynote announced a separate avatar system.
Oh my god.
That's
okay.
just
Now
for
I'm
the
confused.
Oculus platform.
I tried
So-
to keep it straight.
So
Okay.
there's this Facebook thing, and then you have your Facebook avatars with the like sort of like a me. The Nintendo looking guys, and
Yeah.
you look all cartoony and silly. And then also there's this Oculus Rift specific avatar system where you're like this transparent bust of yourself, and you're like a floating ghost. It's actually kind of creepy. Like you're just floating around as a head. So yeah, kind of hard to keep all that stuff straight.
It's all training us to be a part of the Matrix. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Clearly. This is just
Yeah.
a beginner course.
Yeah, no, they're actually like trying to go pretty hard on that. It seems like
Yeah.
they want you to stick that headset on and just like
And then
cruise on
that's
that
it.
all day. Like,
It's like put it on in the morning and leave it on for
yes.
the next
Yep.
17
Yes.
hours.
Never talk to a real person ever. That's pretty much what it is. Well, it's pretty fascinating how they're going to try to do this. You know, obviously with Facebook, like you said, social media is going to be a part of how they're going to try to incorporate the VR in there. Who knows? Maybe they'll take off. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I don't think I'm going to use it necessarily. It doesn't sound like it's something that I'm
That's
that
just
fascinated
because you
with.
got, spurned in
'cause
Second
nobody
Life.
accepted
Nobody
my
wanted to be
friend
your
yet.
friend, so you're just
Yep.
I
pretty
really
much
think,
it.
cool for this one.
I
I
also
think that
could
was
never-
a net positive for you in the end. I really don't think you should.
I also couldn't figure out how to fly in it too either, so it was a real problem for me. But there we go. So VR chat, you can read about that at digitaltrends.com about all of these different VR social media platforms. Let's get to our last topic here, and this one I just want to talk about because this is the kind of tech that we've seen in movies that I am happy is finally coming to fruition. You know, we're not getting really our hoverboards yet, but Nike is bringing to market the self-lacing shoes. And right now, you can enter on their website. It's actually a raffle right now. They made 80 pairs of the Nike Mags, which are Marty McFly's shoes, that are the full-on self-lacing shoes. It's a raffle. I think it's like $10. You have to put in $10, yeah. And it goes to curing Parkinson's. But so it's a good cause. But these shoes, this is something I have always wanted my entire life. I'm guaranteed, I don't know how many raffle tickets I'm going to buy, not that many, but I am going to plunk down some money today in this. I am so excited about this. And so after these come out, they are bringing out an actual shoe for the consumer market too that's going to have that self-lacing capability. I'm excited. Maybe I'm the only one in this room that's as excited about it. But I feel like this is a step in the direction of getting our hoverboards and our holodecks, which we already talked about that. We're going to be getting a holodeck pretty much with the VR capabilities. I'm excited. Does this excite anybody else other than me? No.
Man, a few years ago, I relearned to tie my shoes with a revolutionary knot I learned on the internet. And it takes me like
A revolutionary
2 seconds
knot?
now. It's
Wait,
so
what?
fast. Google the Ian knot.
The Ian knot?
The Ian knot.
Okay. This is some
Changed
new
my
kind
life.
What do your shoes look like right now?
No, just like it's not like it's the same knot. It's a different way of tying.
Oh, it's a different way of tying it.
Watch
Okay. Okay. Demonstration. Live
Of
demonstration.
shoe.
okay.
All right. Right now, Nick is going to attempt to lift his leg
start
up
the same
onto the
way.
table.
Okay.
All right, let me
Okay,
see if
we-
I can do it up here.
Okay. I don't know if we can
And
get a
watch this.
camera
One
shot
move.
of this.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay.
Ian knot.
That's really.
Okay,
that's
the
You
Ian
don't
knot.
need self-tying shoes when you can tie them that fast.
Okay. All right. That's pretty good.
I think
Ian
they
knot.
look. I think they look rad.
Yeah.
I think they look awesome. But I don't think I'm gonna put in for the raffle. Maybe I'll buy them when they're
Yeah.
actual consumer
Right.
product.
See, I was pretty excited about the idea until I watched the video and they said you have to charge them like every 2 weeks, and I was like,
Damn it, I forgot to charge
that's
my
sort of
shoes.
just like trading one inconvenience for another, isn't it?
I mean, you charge everything else at the end of the night. You could charge that too.
Charge your
I know, but
shoes
there's
up.
shoes. Like, I just imagine this like charger being in the corner of my room, and then I forget about it, or it's just like
This is just another
ends up
step.
behind the couch.
It's another step on the road to our dark cyberpunk future where we charge everything. So
Yes.
I'm just picturing getting a text from Matt in the morning that's like, sorry, gonna be late, forgot to charge my shoes.
Yes, exactly.
I mean,
I mean, also the other thing I was thinking, if there's only 89 pairs, how quick are you going to get mugged for these?
right?
things?
Yeah.
If you're walking to New York with these,
There's only 89 pairs.
yeah, 89 pairs is what they're auctioning off of these specific ones. I'm sure they, they made a lot more than that.
Yeah,
That there'll be
yeah.
something else that'll come out, but of those specific Nike Mags, yeah, 89 pairs are all that are available, and I'm going to win one of them.
Maybe they can add GPS so we can find them after the
Where's my shoes?
Okay,
Why
Google,
not?
where are my shoes at? It's probably going to tie in. All right. Well, anyway, want to get that out there, the Nike bags. So we're out of time for today, but thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into this show. It is fantastic having you guys here, giving us your comments, and of course, we do have the podcast that's out there, so you can listen via that as well. If you haven't found that yet, it's on iTunes or Stitcher, wherever you listen to podcasts. We are there, Trends with Benefits. Thank you guys for coming in today. This is fun. So if you have any more questions, please go ahead and drop those into this video or send us an email. podcast@digitaltrends.com, like I said, and we will get to those, and we'll be back next week with another episode.